My name's Aiden McKinnon. What is
Hey,
your name?
Tom Mckay.
Tom Mckay.
Yes,
Nice
sir.
to meet you, sir.
Good to meet
So,
you.
we are, I don't know if Marcus explained to you, we are a small media group slash podcast here in Anchorage,
Right.
where we just like to spread awareness to the local people and especially Gen Z, right? Because they're not really politically involved as much as they should be, in my opinion.
Yep.
So, what are some important issues to you that you are going to target?
For young people that live in Alaska, we make our money up here on resource development.
Right.
We extract raw materials from the ground, whether it's gold, copper, zinc, oil, gas, and we occasionally get to cut down some trees and make lumber out of them.
Right.
That's how we build wealth. That's how we create wealth. And we need that up here because there's no other way to make wealth, create wealth in Alaska. There's no manufacturing to speak of. You know, we're not like Ohio.
Right.
We don't have a bunch of farmland like Iowa and Nebraska.
Very true.
So we have to rely on resource development to create wealth. And by creating that wealth, that's our industry. And that's what creates really good private sector jobs,
right.
high paying career jobs like I had when I came here in 1980, right out of college. And what I would tell the young people here is to have a future living in Alaska, we need to be creating new wealth all the time from our resources.
Absolutely. Very cool.
Maybe that's a longer answer than you wanted.
Oh, no, never too long of an answer. So I see you have a vote on 2.
Yeah,
Repeal ranked choice voting. What are your thoughts on that? Why do you think we should repeal ranked choice voting?
I don't like the ranked choice voting because it effectively some people get 2 votes and other people get 1.
Right.
So that obviously violates the one man, one vote principle in our Constitution. It's a clever way to eliminate the Republican primary because now there basically is no primary.
Right.
We're going to go to the polls here in about a week and a half. I think there's only a couple of races in the whole state that have more than 4 people running, I think, if that.
Yes.
So why even have the primary? Just the top 4 go to November, right?
Right.
So to me it's sort of ridiculous. We should have a primary because that's how we draw a distinction between candidates. You know, like if you and I are running against each other, if we both have the same positions on issues, then it's kind of a joke. So we need to have a bright, clear distinction between candidates, and that's what a primary provides. Plus, and I was involved in the Republican Party when we went to the Supreme Court of the United States in the early 2000s, and the highest court in the land said that political parties have a right of what they call free association.
Okay.
And that gives the party the right to establish how they want to elect their candidates. The other thing about ranked choice voting is it costs a lot of money. I think it's like $3 million more than normal voting. And I had to wait in 2022, I had to wait till almost Christmas time to find out whether or not I had won.
Right. Wouldn't it be nice to go back the same day where that night before we went to bed, we knew
Exactly.
who was running the office? Yeah.
Exactly right. It's just a convoluted system. They're trying to push it all over America. And what it does is it dilutes the conservative voice. It disenfranchises a lot of people, and it really needs to be repealed. It's wrong for Alaska. We need to get rid of it as quickly as possible.
I completely agree with you, sir.
Okay.
Do you think it has any relation to our low voter turnouts here in Anchorage?
Yeah, people have gotten disillusioned with voting. They've made it too complicated. People are frustrated, and I think a lot of folks are giving up.
Yeah.
And we can't have that, or we're going to lose our country. We're going to lose our state.
It's a shame. What was the turnout? It was like 29% that showed up to the last municipal election.
I can't quote you, but I'd be surprised if it was even that much.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Very bad. So I feel that Alaska should be energy independent. What are your thoughts on the carbon capturing plant?
Okay, carbon capturing, carbon sequestration. I was heavily involved in that as chairman of House Resources during the last session. It's the way of the world now. The huge financial institutions like BlackRock, and there's others up there, I can't name them off the top of my head, but they are requiring CO2 to be captured and sequestered in the name of climate change, in the name of a climate crisis. My personal feelings are I don't agree with it, but boards of directors, very powerful people that decide whether or not they invest in Alaska, invest in oil and gas projects in Alaska, they want carbon sequestration. So we're having to do that in order to have continuing industry investment up here. The most prominent example of that is Santos at Pika.
I see.
They really like carbon sequestration, and they want it to, and they're going to invest billions of dollars up there on the slope, and we're going to get supposedly 300,000 barrels a day down the pipeline as a result. And that helps us pay for government, provides jobs like I was talking about earlier. And the other thing is we're going to have to capture the CO2 if we want to have a gas pipeline. Because the gas on the slope that we would like to export and of course use across the state has 12 or 12.5% CO2. So that's got to be scrubbed out before we ship gas to the south central, okay, off the slope. And that, in the old days, you used to be able to vent it. You would just vent it to the atmosphere. Now, because of this climate crisis and all the carbon sequestration regulations, we're going to have to inject it in subsurface reservoirs that are depleted.
Right.
And so to have a gas pipeline, we got to have carbon sequestration.
Right.
Again, a long answer to a short question, but
Can I add on to that real quick? Carbon capturing plant also comes with carbon credits, right? Carbon
Yeah.
credits in Australia, Norway, Canada, even Texas now are considered a state tax. Do you consider this a state tax? Because I consider carbon credits to be a form of a state tax.
it's a federal credit. It's a federal tax credit to be able to sequester carbon. So yes, we are all paying for it through our federal income taxes.
Okay, so it's not a state tax then. That's where I'm
No.
confused on the carbon credit. We've been trying to get someone like yourself that can explain it.
We're trying to make state income.
Yeah, you've explained it very well compared to anybody else and all the research we can
Yes.
do. I love your explanation. So
Absolutely.
Thank you.
right on.
Glad to do it.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us. Our equipment's getting a little wet here.
Okay.
But I want to thank you for your time, sir.
And we'll do it again.